Junior boy. I'm saying. Is this live? I think we're live. All right. I was a top performer at 7th level, selling for Mr. Jeremy Miner. This is our Ask Me Anything. So this is for specifically for people, okay? In-person sales reps. So you're a door-to-door sales rep, car sales, home improvement, corporate sales. And you want to transition into remote high-ticket sales. So you don't have to be on the doors all the time. So you can spend more time with your family. So you can move to a better city or country. You can become a better provider. Or you're in high-ticket sales right now. And obviously, you want to do better. You want to get to 10K, 20K, 30K, and so on and so forth. So this is our first ever live stream. I don't even know if this thing's on. I'm actually very unk. So I don't even know if this thing's going. It'll be funny, actually. If we go for 1 hour, I'm spitting hot fire, and we'll realize that this was not streaming the whole time. But it says people are on. Okay, people are on. Someone gave me a thumbs up. He says, okay. Parts says, hello, wave emoji, love your content. Good to hear, man. Good to hear. Yeah. All right, so if you have a question, just drop it in the live chat. Just so you guys know, this is a once in a life opportunity where you can chat with a very handsome Asian man like myself. Very witty, very humble. That definitely not narcissistic. That you can actually interact. All right, so drop it in the comments. I'm actually doing this live stream because, can you guys hear me, by the way? If you guys can hear me, drop a yes in the chat. You can see me? Huh? You don't see me? What are you talking about? I have like a few people on here right now. On my channel? Nobody's live? Huh? BoobTube. BoobTube. Okay, people says, yeah, Stu Nels says, yes, it's all working fine. All right, cool, sweet. If you'll have questions, drop in the chat, and it will go through it. The reason why I'm doing this live right now is because, well, I just got a no-show. And the no-show isn't me selling them and my prospect no-show. It's like, no, me going into the prospect. Me being the prospect, the sales rep no-showed me. Can you imagine? So I booked a sales call for a particular service. And then there was zero confirmation text from that business. So zero confirmation text. And so I was the one reaching out to them. It's like, hey, it's like the call confirmed. Like, I don't see my calendar. So it took them for a while for them to get back to me. And then I was just in the waiting room. And then the Zoom link didn't work. So I just emailed them because nobody reached out to me manually. Because no sales rep I could contact. So I just, to the email fucking support team, is like, hey, the Zoom link is not working. I also messaged the business center's Instagram account. They did not get back to me after 1 hour. So I waited about 10 minutes, and then after that, I bounced. And then it's crazy, man. It's just fucking crazy. I was ready to buy, too. I'm a laydown sale. And so I didn't know about it at this point because that showed a lot about their professionalism. I don't know what happened. Maybe there's like a genuine reason that happened, but nobody contacted me after 1 hour. Finally, I think the business owner did get back to me, but we'll see. Okay, so we got some questions here. Good. How much conversion you can make if you are a good call sales guy? Let's say I have 100 people. How much you can convert? What is the cap? Like it's 100%. Jeremy does 60%. Okay, so I believe either you or somebody else left the comments on one of my videos saying that, hey, I think what you're saying is in terms of the close rate, what's the good close rate? I cannot answer that question. And whatever sales guru, whoever says, my fucking sleep alarm's going off. Whoever says, oh, 30% is a good close rate, they just don't know sales that well. They just don't know how sales work in particular, because when you sell a certain product, when you sell for a certain company, 15% close rate can be a very good close rate. But when you sell for certain other companies, 15% is fucking horrendous. And why is that? Well, there's so many different factors that most people just don't take into consideration. So, Chaz, I mean, how hot and how in demand is the product and the offer in this particular time of the year in human society right now? So, as an example, I'll give you one example, okay? So, I used to sell for the number one sales agency in the high ticket info space about a couple of years ago, okay? And when I was there, there's one particular offer. I was not on that offer, but there were other reps on that offer. I'm friends with some of them that were on that offer, so on and so forth. So I hear different stories. And so it was a crypto offer. So helping people make money with crypto, so on and so forth. It was back in around like 2020 or 2021, something along those lines. Back then, crypto was hot. Okay, everybody wanted to get into crypto. And so the offer started at, from what I'm hearing, is around like the offer started like 7 grand, 10 grand, so on and so forth, the price point. And everybody on the sales team was closing at 70%. Like people are coming in like, here's my fucking credit card. Please take my credit card. And then what they did was, okay, cool, let's raise our price point, because high close rate doesn't always mean good thing. Now, it's not to say that, hey, you should have a lower close rate. It's not about that. If the close rate is too high, especially across all the sales reps, it just means the price point is too low for that specific product, for that specific offer. And so they increased their price point to like 10 grand. Still everybody closing at 70%. Okay, 15 grand. Still everybody closing at 70%. It got to a point where the offer got up to 25K price point. Still people closing at around 70%. To a point where even there was one sales rep that was sending out payment links to prospects, not even getting on sales calls, or just canceling calls left, right, and center. And then obviously that they made a lot of money. That offer was doing like millions a month, so on and so forth. So yeah, I mean, were there some people on that offer that were really skilled? Yeah. There's also people that are selling that now is not as skilled, but they're still closing at a high rate because of just what they're selling and because of the time of the economic situation at the moment. You know what I'm saying? And also, there's been offers where a 15% close rate is a good close rate. Why? Because, well, in that offer, there's zero qualification, meaning that they don't disqualify or qualify leads. They put through everybody. It's a mass market offer. Like a biz op, 9 to 5 people, as long as they have 2 legs and a heartbeat, is like pass them through onto a sales call. So even the most skilled sales rep, they could close in at 15%. So that's why I say is, like, I can't tell you like what is an optimal close rate. The best we can do is like, well, let's just keep increasing it. And there's other data points too. There's other factors that people don't take into consideration, because your close rate could be 60, 70%. But if your cash collection is low, meaning that you're selling the cheaper product, you're not collecting that much cash up front, it's kind of useless. It's kind of pointless. You know what I'm saying? So close rate is good, but it's like just one metric you can take into consideration. Oftentimes it can be a vanity metric. Oftentimes it doesn't take the full picture. And so the best thing is, okay, how much money is coming into my fucking bank account? You know what I'm saying? Does close rate feed our bank account? Does that retire our parents? Does that put our woman into first class flights in the best homes? Or does actual commissions and money in their bank account actually do that? It's the latter, right? So you want to focus on, okay, like what can we do to get more money into our fucking bank account? So, I mean, it's just like nobody's talking about this because like they just don't understand sales and like business from this kind of standpoint, which is fine, right? Which is why we do these questions. So I guess that was a good question. Okay, so if you have questions, drop it in the comments. Also, what I'm gonna do. All right, let me see. For those of you joining right now, if you are, I just let me see. Drop your questions in the comment section. I think that's how it works. I don't fucking know. All right. So I also dropped it there. Can I pin this shit? All right, let me pin this shit. I just pinned the message. If you're in in-person sales right now, like I said, door-to-door car sales, corporate sales, so on and so forth, and you want to transition to remote high-ticket sales, or if you're in high-ticket sales already, you want to get the 10K, 20K, 30K a month in commissions, okay? Be able to spend more time with your family, become a better provider for your family, be able to live in any city or country you want because maybe you hate your city and country, then you can apply to our licensing program, Real Sales System, okay? Just make sure you're high intelligence, you have high work ethic, you have high urgency, and you're low maintenance. If you are a pain in the ass, please do not click that fucking link and unsubscribe if you are a dumbass and if you're a victim princess. Okay. The reason why people see success inside our program is because we filter out the dumbasses and the retards. Okay. So, can I? Okay. Apply to real sales system. There you go. I'll just do this. I think that's better. All right, cool, sweet. If you have other questions, let's go through the questions. Who else? How important is the prospect's identity when it comes to selling them? I don't know. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? How important? How important is the prospect's identity when it comes to selling? I don't know what you mean, but you got to make it. So that's the thing is the quality of the answers you're going to get. It comes from the quality of the question you ask. And depending on the quality of your question and quality of the answers you get, the quality of your life depends on that. Okay. I'm a vocal coach, and that's what I do. I convert from YouTube. Yeah, I mean, YouTube traffic is typically higher show up rate and high close rate. At the same time, also depending on the typical demographics you get, and also depending on the country, like there's so many different factors, you know what I'm saying? Like the leads that come from our YouTube channels, like the quality is great. At the same time, it's like it's B2C, so a lot of people are broke, you know what I'm saying? Which, by the way, do not apply for like if you're broke and if you're not willing to get the money together. It's fine if you don't have all the money right now, but yeah, at least you're willing to get resourceful. Listen, I've been in that situation where I didn't have that much money, but at least I was willing to get resourceful. I borrowed money from my parents. I borrowed money from friends. I sold things at my house. I got side jobs, which is what our members do as well to get inside of the program, so money never becomes an issue forever again. There are people running marathons without legs. But the problem is most people are victim-minded. They're like, oh, you know, like my situation is this, my parents and my country, my economy, my genetics, da, da, da. Nobody fucking cares. Just fucking figure it out, right? So, long story short. All right. What do you think about webinars? I mean, again, I don't know. Like in terms of what, right? You got to make the question better. If you mean that, what do you think about webinars from like in terms of how easy that makes your sales calls? Very easy. Yeah. Especially if whoever's doing the webinar is like they structure it like really, really well, right? On some of the offers I was selling on the webinars, we do like 5-day challenges, so on and so forth. Man, the leads coming in were fucking laydowns from those. You know what I mean? Like most of the leads coming in, they're from like cold traffic. They found out about the business owner maybe like a few days ago, 2 to 7 days ago. So it's like, you know what I mean? There's not much, you know, nurturing going on. But webinars, like as long as you structure it well, fucking melts them. Fucking melts them. It just takes quite a bit of skills and effort to put it together. Okay, so we got a good question. How do you find your first closing offer being a setter with no closing experience? What's the best way to go about that? So this is a common question. How do you find your first closing offer? So let's first begin with, okay, where do you go find them? How do you vet the right one? And then after that, how do you get the interview? And what do you do on the interview? What do you do after the interview? These are the typical steps, right? So we have different content on this channel as well. And obviously inside our licensing program, Real Sales System, we actually guide our members through that specific process. What we share on YouTube is like literally just like the basic general shit. You know what I'm saying? There's like no accountability, it's like cookie cutter video, obviously. But long story short, what you want to do is you got to know where to go find these people, right? Where to go find these offers. So what do most people do? What most people do is, okay, so they may go on to some like random Facebook groups. They may go to LinkedIn. They may go to Indeed, maybe ZipRecruiter, maybe cold DMing random offers on Instagram, so on and so forth. The problem with that is, how does that work out typically? Well, if you've ever done any of those methods, you know that it's not that great. In fact, LinkedIn, I mean, then maybe, but for high ticket sales, a lot of these good roles are not on LinkedIn. They're not. They're simply not. Same thing with ZipRecruiter. Same thing with Indeed. You know what I mean? And then also Facebook groups. A lot of these Facebook groups are fucking sketchy. You ever notice those? Like, just look at the job postings, man. It just looks sketchy. They'll just take on anybody because they're still so desperate. and they want their business is failing, so they want a sales rep to come in and magically revive their business. That's what they want. And what happens to you? Well, they're gonna lie to you. They're going to exaggerate their numbers, and you not knowing, you're not having a proper vetting process. You're just gonna get sold on that, and then you go in and waste a whole bunch of months, and you feel discouraged, and a lot of people quit as well, which is what you don't want. Same thing with cold DMing random people on Instagram. I mean, it's very hit or miss. Maybe not. You know what I mean? So what you do want is there's different methods. Okay. So obviously inside of our program, we on day one, when sales reps come into real sales system, on day one, they get access to several different recruitment pipelines. And each pipeline has anywhere between 10 to 35, 45 different roles and offers that reps can apply to. Now, what most sales programs do, right, like these other programs, is they wait until you get certified 8 to 12 weeks later. They say, oh yeah, you gotta get certified and da 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 da. Right? So you cannot even apply the roles until then. And they don't even show you how to do that. They don't equip you with the right network and the right resource and the SOPs to do that. And because of that, it takes people forever to land their first role. But what is the best way to get better at sales and make money? Talking to fucking real life prospects. Listen, you can do role plays all day long. I'm not saying to not do role plays. Do role plays, yeah, if you're not on an offer yet, to get better, so on and so forth. But the best way is like talking to fucking prospects. Right? A shit offer is going to be better than no offer. And obviously, a quality offer is going to be better than a shit offer. And so, yeah, so if you can join one of those actual paid programs, and I know you're like, oh shit, Brian, you're saying that just to sell your course. Well, no fucking shit, Sherlock. But you can do whatever the fuck you want, right? You don't have to join. I'm just saying that when you do join an actual good program, right? Not some random course from some 19, 20-year-old kid from Miami that he's only focused on fucking getting huzz at clubs, so on and so forth, right? But like an actually properly well structured out program that has a proper implementation path. And that is the best way. It's just like shortcut your progress, right? Like typically when sales reps come into our program, Roll Sales System, on average, it takes them about between 1 to 4 weeks, 6 weeks if they're really fucking taking their time. And if they're not implementing well as we tell them to do, right? Josh was an example. He came in 1 week, he landed 2 roles. Yeah. So most people, because I know, like sales reps comes to us, they're like, yeah, dude, I'm trying to land the role. Okay, how long has it been? You trying to land the role? It's been like 3 months, 6 months. You still haven't landed the role? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? So that's another one. And then another way is going to YouTube. I'm going to give you some game that you can actually do. So that's the best one. Now, YouTube Organic, go in there, type in keywords of the niche that you want to sell for. Okay? So as an example, let's say you go in, let's say you want to sell for like a trading offer. Okay? Maybe you have some knowledge in trading and trading is a decent offer. Okay? So you can type in like how to make money with trading on YouTube as an example. Or, you know what I mean? Like how to, whatever. Type in those kind of niche keywords. Then what's going to happen is obviously you're going to have different YouTube videos pop up. And what you want to look for is videos that have good engagements, right? Decent amount of views, likes, comments, subscriber count. And those are typically solid ones. Okay? Not always, but typically if they have a solid following engagement on YouTube, it's because like we just talked about, YouTube traffic is the best traffic. Aside from maybe website leads, like people who inquire directly from the website, from like them typing it in. But YouTube traffic, YouTube organic traffic, it is the best. Why do you think I'm making this video right now? Like it's 10:44 p.m. in Dubai right now. I could be going to sleeping, right? I could be doing whatever. I could be eating calamari at a beach club right now. But the reason I'm doing this is because it is worth it. Because you guys watching this right now, you are smart. You're hardworking. You are loyal. By your mama house. By your father house. Whoever got the reference. So, because you're not some idiot just strolling through TikTok like, I'm saying? Like TikTok leads are the worst leads you could possibly get. But if you're on YouTube, and I don't know how long the video it's been going on for 20 minutes. If you're still here, it means that you have brain cells and you have IQ and you have the willingness to learn and get better, invest in yourself, and you're hungry and you're not a retard and you're not an egotistical dumbass, right? So that is why YouTube is one of the best ways. So you go into YouTube, and then if you click one of the videos, you're gonna in the description box, you're gonna find different ways where you can contact this business or somebody within inside of the organization, whether it be their website, whether it be their social media, Instagram, whatever it may be. From there, you contact them. Okay, you contact them. But here's the thing. Here's the kicker. Most people don't even know this part, but let's say they kind of know this part. Okay, what do most people do in terms of reaching out to these offers and businesses? Hey, Jack, I saw your videos. It really resonated with me. Are you in need of a Are you in need of a closer? Hey, Jack, I saw your videos. I really love that. I'm really hardworking and hungry. Can you give me a chance? I'm hungry. Are you in need of a closer? Do you need a closer? How many other people do you think that say the same thing to them in their DMs each day? Fucking a lot. Even in my DMs, I get this several a day. And these people have like 20 times, 50 times, maybe 100 times. Yeah, 100 times more followers than I do. How many of those do you think they get? So if you look and sound the same as everybody else, how do you think they look at you? Exactly. The same as all the other chumps that said the same exact fucking thing. So what happens? You get commoditized. Commoditized. What does it mean? You look and sound the same as everybody else, so it's like, you don't stand out. Okay? If I put up 10 different red boxes on the screen right now, how do you know which one to choose? You don't know. But if I put a blue one right here, you're going to be like, oh, that's blue. That's different. Right? So that's the fucking difference right there. So you got to be different. In our program, licensing program, Real Sales System, we equip our members with pattern interrupts. What are pattern interrupts? It's saying something different, saying something that stands out in the DMs that's actually going to bump you up and have the offer owner prioritize you to get you on an interview. Now, some people do this like kind of like a dumbass way. They're like, yo, your nudes got leaked or your meat got leaked. How much professionalism does that show you to your potential employer? You know what I'm saying? So the problem with this industry is that there's 19, 20-year-old kid gurus. They're teaching this shit. That's why the standard of the industry is so fucking low. Like our industry, the high-ticket sales industry, it has the lowest standard. It has the lowest professionalism. There's practically zero professionalism in this industry. It is pathetic. It is sad. And business owners are sick of it. I live in Dubai. My friends are 7, 8 figures a year entrepreneurs. The gyms I go to, like billionaires and millionaires go to my gym. I'm not saying this to brag, but I'm saying this because I know what business owners are sick of. This is what business owners are sick of. Zero professionalism. Zero competency. Like they're clock punchers, man. Most sales reps are high ticket closer, remote closer, inbound closer. Fuck off. Now, if you're doing this right now, it is not your fault. I want to assure you that. You've just been taught and been told to do these things by, again, these like 19, 20-year-old kids, which is unfortunate. Yeah. James says, like, what are you guys talking about? Just look at the replay, bro. I'm not going to replay the whole fucking thing. He's framing us, guys. Of course I am. Of course I am. You think you're smart. Of course I'm framing you. Because I believe that what I have to say will fucking help you. That's why I'm doing this. Because I want to help you make more fucking money. Right? I want smart, hardworking people to succeed. That's how the world works. The unintelligent, the low work ethic people deserve to not succeed. That's how the world works. It's fine. Like somebody got to work at Burger King. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody got to work at the shawarma shop. I always eat shawarma at. Shawarma, by the way, don't sleep on those. I just had a shawarma today. Fire. So going back to this, yes, pattern interrupt. You need to stand out while still being professional. Okay. So that's it. So let's say you do that. You get on the interview, and obviously on the interview, you gotta do your thing. You gotta do your fucking homework. It seems like such basic common sense stuff, but most people just don't do it. They don't do homework on the business they're interviewing for. They don't go take a look at their website, their social media. They don't know what their mission and vision statement is. They don't know what the biggest challenge is of that business. They don't give a fuck to ask. Nothing. You know, most people are clock punchers, and I really do believe that most of these high ticket closures, they deserve to flip burgers at Burger King. It's pathetic. You know, so it and that's why inside of our group we have the highest possible standard. It will make you uncomfortable just how high the standard is. But the good news is you'll run laps around everybody else. So when a sales rep comes into our program, and then it doesn't take that long for them to become a top rep on their offer. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, Owen as an example, Owen's like new. He's like his third month in sales ever before he was doing a hard labor job, dude. And he was sick of living in a city. He was sick of being away from his family so that he got the money together, right? He didn't have all the money. He's like, he just got the money together. He figured it out and then put it together, got into the program. It's like his third month. Like even people on his team, like people who have 1-2 years of sales are asking this guy who's like third month in. It's like, dude, like, can I look at your calls? You know what I'm saying? Nick is another example. Nick, we helped him go from 2K a month to 12K a month, right? He's probably doing more than that now. He just made 2K in commissions in 2 days. So 2K in his pocket in 2 days, going into brand new offer. 2 days in, already other reps on that offer are going like, dude, like, can you give me some advice? You know what I'm saying? Like Regev already, like everybody else on the team, they're doing like 3, they're producing 3 a day. Regev's doing 10 a day. It's like his first week, like 2 or 3 days in. You know what I'm saying? So it's a really like an edge, an unfair advantage that people get. But long story short, you get into the interview, you got to do your homework, you got to know exactly what questions to ask them, how to answer it properly, how to stand out, how to differentiate yourself from all the other applicants that have more experience than you, that have more track record than you. And you got to know the right questions to be able to properly screen and vet the offer. Because every offer owner, every sales manager, they're going to tell you the same thing. They're going to almost always exaggerate, and they may often lie to you. It's just how, unfortunately, that's just how things are, right? I don't want to make them sound evil or anything like that, because some of them have like just great intentions. It's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to know, you not just listening to their words and taking their words verbatim, but knowing properly how to actually look at the data, and see if it's a legitimate proven role that you can get yourself into. And you'd rather get yourself into, let's say that you'd rather start as like a bottom of the barrel, entry level, like setter, calling old leads at a really established, proven offer, rather than going into the only closer at like a startup offer that doesn't even like have any leads going on. Because if you're going as like an entry level setter, starting at the bottom of the barrel, but if you're in a proven, established offer, you can just smash KPIs. Right? You can just become top rep within like the first 1 to 4 weeks and move up to a closer right away. It's not hard. Like our members are doing it. Like that's what we show them. So there's your question and long story short. Okay. Let's see what other questions we got. Any interesting questions? Let's see. By the way, again, to actually get some help with this, if you're watching this, you don't want some like random cheap shit, right? A lot of people, like the sales reps who come into a real sales system, they're sick of like these. They're sick of these cheap courses. There's like hundreds of videos to go through. There's no actual game plan. There's not tailored to their specific situation. There's no game plan. They feel stuck. Like they try to save some money, but like it's not getting it, or they're wasting months and time. And time will connect it back, right? And they get into our program, and like within the first week, they're like, "Dude, this is the best decision I've ever made." So I'm not saying. I mean, you can go to my stories, right? At Brian Choi Sales, right? I might have changed my Instagram handle by now, but like, You can go to Instagram. You can just scroll through my story highlights from today, and the story highlights from the past. We have like over 1,000 results and reviews at this point. So, don't take it from me. Okay, so let's see what other. Still struggling to find a role. Yeah, just implement what I just said. Caveman skates. If you want to shortcut it, if you value your time, if you had to get to your goal yesterday, like I did and our guys did, get into real sales system. It's in the pinned comment. If you go in the chat, on the top of the chat, there'll be like a white button, click on it. You'll be able to expand and then click the link. Okay. When your Facebook groups, just make sure it's a good company. It's where I've been looking and had some good interviews with some good companies. Really good, really competitive though. Yeah, exactly. How do you know the affordability? In other words, they are broke before the call. Is there any strategy? I mean, oftentimes they'll lie. And also, qualification is like a volume knob. If you're lower on lead flow, I don't be too picky with qualifying leads that much. But if you are drowning in leads, then you can be more harsher with it. Just understand they're going to lie. So you can say things like, let's say, but even before the sales call, right? Within the DMs or in like the phone setting call, after you've gone through the whole process, and you can ask a question, right? Hey, so obviously, guys like you and I understand it takes me. I don't know what your offer is, though, what offer you sell, but let's say you sell some sort of like business coaching or biz op, right? Helping them make more money, as an example, which is a very common offer. Things like, hey, so obviously, guys like you and I understand it takes money to make money, right? So I'm not even sure if it can help you yet, but given that we can potentially help you, or given that you find what you're looking for, how much are you able to invest so that you can, and then you just plug in whatever they say they wanted. So how much are you able to invest so that you can get your business to 50 grand a month? Just understand that they may lie. That's how it is. So there we go. Let's see. Yes, YouTube is pro. Actually, the relationship is much deep on YouTube. Yeah, because like you just like at this point, if you've been watching from the beginning, you've spent 33 minutes with me, which shows how committed you are, which shows how serious you are. You know what I'm saying? Like if a lead is from like TikTok, they're like they spend 0.1 second with you. Part says genius shits. There we go. You can. Okay, Caveman Skate says you gave the agency I work for your sales system and some of your sales calls, so I'm familiar with this. Haha. Nice, man. What's the agency? Quite don't remember, but there we go. James says, I'm in IT. How do you think I can make money independently? 9 to 5 is killing me. Yeah, I mean, I'm biased, right? The obvious answer is going to be get into high ticket sales. That's what I did. And that's what our members do. Like Owen, as an example, he was doing hard labor away from his family. Good money, don't get me wrong, right? If you're in IT, I'm sure you're making a decent living as well, but it gets to a point where some of the things just aren't working. It's just not worth it, right? Maybe the time's too much is taking away from your family, from the people that you love, or whatever, So Owen got in, and it's like his third month. He's pretty close to hitting 10K a month now. I'm not saying you're gonna hit that, but just to give you some reference. And he's doing it from home, completely remote. So yeah, man, I'll say go to the first link or the pinned message. It says apply to real sales system. Click on the white button. It'll show you like the button to see the demo of real sales system. And if you qualify for the criteria, then you'll be able to submit an application. If that application is approved, then you'll be able to schedule a call to see if we can help you. The real sales system is really good for framing and objection handling. The objection box is good for one call closes. That kind of doesn't make sense. Is really good for framing and objection handling. Like you don't even know what a program does specifically. So it kind of doesn't make sense for you to say like what is good or what is not, right? Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But it's just a bit different. Like I believe they help with like current high ticket closures. We do that too. But essentially what we help people with is, like I said, some in-person sales reps, car sales, door-to-door, home improvement, so on and so forth, transition into high ticket sales, right? And landing roles, we do it better than anybody else at this point. Like I can say that with conviction, just because like as long as the member comes in, executes it, like the speed to landing roles is just bar none. Like the speed is just bar none, right? And also punching up your weight, meaning that landing roles and beating other applicants who have more experience and more track record than you. Like that's what we specialize in, as well as high ticket closures as well, right? Your current high ticket closures, objection handling, we go over that. We have an entire decision tree, right? If the prospect goes here, like that's how you handle it. If the prospect says this, like this how you handle it while sounding conversational, right? At the same time, we also train you and give you SOPs on how to close deals off of sales calls. And that is a superpower that we equip our members with is you don't need a book call to close deals. That's how I became one of the top producers at 7th level, which is the most competitive sales team you'll ever like. There'll be closers that do 30, 40K a month, apparently 100K a month in commissions and other offers. They come in 7th level. They cannot even last 1 month because they struggle to make 8K a month, 10K a month. And then it's like very hard. So they quit after like 1 week or 1 month. Seen it way too many times. Okay. 7th level was good, but it's too passive sometimes. Yeah, depending on how you look at it, man. I mean, so I'll address another question too, right? Some people ask like, "Hey, how are you different from like how Jeremy does things?" As an example, I got from a professional standpoint, a lot of obviously tremendous respect for Jeremy, right? A lot of reps that have left 7th level and started their own sales coaching business, I mean, a lot of them kind of like shit on Jeremy. Um, which is like unfortunate, or like don't give him any credits, even though they learned from him from some capacity, right? So is Jeremy a perfect? I'm not gonna speak from like a personal standpoint. I'll just speak from a professional standpoint. What Jeremy's accomplished professional in his career is remarkable, and I give him a lot of respect for that. Obviously, yeah. How we do things is a little bit different. So typically, the reason why people have trouble implementing the framework from the company is because the way Jeremy speaks is not really similar, and it's really adapt to how, if you're watching this, how we speak and how we sell. What I mean by that is the way Jeremy speaks in sales, like he's going into his 50s now, and the way he speaks is a very unique. Like not many people speak like Jeremy, right? It's like, do you like what you're doing for a living? And I'm not saying this to mock Jeremy in any ways, because whatever he's doing is working phenomenal for him and whoever that works well for, right? Me personally, that got me to a certain level, like better than before for sure. But what got me to another level where I feel comfortable in my calls, I feel a lot more conversational, and people just buy more, is by being able to tailor that methodology, make it my own variation, and make it suit for my specific personality. Because like younger people like us, right? Like if you're watching these, you're probably in your like a 20s or 30s, right? And so you and I kind of talk like this. I don't talk like this in real, like I don't do that, right? So I used to ask her, like, do you like what you're doing for a living? I used to ask it that. Again, nothing wrong with that. But these days I just like, okay, you like it? Because that's how I talk, right? That's how I talk in real life. So like I just mutated it. I just took the principle and made it work for my specific personality. And what people say is that it's been working a lot better for them. They feel a lot more comfortable. They feel a lot more natural, and therefore they get better results. It just feels more natural. You know what I'm saying? So on the sales call itself, that's how it's different. And that's the biggest thing, right? If you feel kind of weird asking certain questions, you're not going to be able to deliver that well. And obviously the prospects are going to be like, what? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. A lot of groups talking down on 9 to 5, but it's in high ticket sales and 9 to 5. Also, just more. Okay, so Caveman Skates asks, I noticed a lot of gurus talking down on 9 to 5s, but isn't high ticket sales on 9 to 5 also just more work and more stress? So, yes and no, depending on how you categorize it, right? So, if you say 9 to 5, well, how do you define 9 to 5? Do you mean in the sense that, okay, you're categorized as an employee? Or do you categorize in a sense that you work from the hours of 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.? Because depending on that, like if we want to get granular on that, then the answers will be different. So just so we're clear, I don't even like the high ticket closer, like the terminology. It sounds a bit cheesy, but if you're working as a high ticket sales rep in this industry, a lot of times, oftentimes, like 9 out of 10, you don't operate as an employee. You operate as an independent contractor. So what's the fucking difference? You operating as an employee, your employer can tell you, hey, you need to be at this time here. That is one of the different examples. Okay. Being an independent contractor, they cannot tell you that. And that's not to say you're going to go haywire and like do whatever the fuck you want. It's not about that, right? So just so you're aware. And also in high ticket sales, a lot of times you can set your own schedule. So it's not that you have to be from like 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So as an example, right? If you, for some reason, if you are picking up your kids in the middle of the day, you can do that as long as you're taking enough calls, right? So that the company runs properly and you're doing your fucking job, obviously, right? But it's more flexible. Like in the middle of the day, like you could technically do that, right? Or if you want to spend more time with your family in the evening time, that you can start earlier. Let's say you start at like 7 a.m., right? Maybe you're in like PST, you start talking to EST time zone a lot earlier, and then you get done by like 3 p.m. You can spend the rest of the afternoon or evening with your family, and vice versa. Maybe you want to drop off your kids at school at like 8 in the morning, so start at like 10 a.m. and get done by like 6 or 7 or whatever what you want to do. So it's more flexible, so to say. You know what I'm saying? And high ticket sales is oftentimes like a bridge for people to get into the next step of what they want to do, whether becoming an investor or becoming an entrepreneur, depending on what people want to do. Okay. So I'll give you different examples. Because most people, I'll tell you this, I'll tell you this truth that most people, most gurus are not willing to tell you. It's a bit uncomfortable. Most people don't want to stay in high ticket sales or sales in general forever. Most people don't. Because the people that get into high ticket sales in the first place, they're more entrepreneurial. That's how it is. Yeah. Some people want to stay for a while. That's fine. But a lot of times people want to move up, right? Maybe go into sales management or sales director or VP of sales or chief revenue officer, chief sales officer. You know what I'm saying? So, in another way too, like there's different members that came in and then, before they're like maybe like 5 to 8 grand a month, whether in their in-person sales role or as a high ticket closer. And we help them get to 15, 20 grand a month. After that, maybe they start their own business. We've had that happen. Tommy, as an example, he got to 17, 20 grand a month in commissions, selling a biz op offer. Now he's running his own offer. He helps people. He runs a coaching business helping men recover from porn addiction. Very powerful, very transformational. And he loves it. It's very fulfilling. He did like 5K or 8K a week the other week. He texted me. You can see it on my Instagram story highlights as well. He's saying, yeah, man, I can pay off my mom's mortgage at this point, which is great. He's doing something he feels more fulfilled. He believes in it more, making more money, more flexibility, taking care of his family. Amazing. Another members too, like that came in, that got to like 15, 20 grand a month. That like they start their own AI business. They do that too because the thing about sales is, right, once you can do it, it's like whatever, like pretty much like 90 to 97% of any business you go into or any venture you go into, you can apply it and you have an unfair advantage. Okay. Because the reason why Tommy was able to get that off the ground is because he already knew how to fucking sell. And once you become a successful sales rep, you start to understand marketing and fulfillment as well. Because you kind of see the whole picture of like how the business operates. And so yeah, when he launched that, if he wasn't a successful sales rep, like it would have been very difficult for him to like actually close those deals and make money from his business. But because he became a successful sales rep, he knows how to sell. He knows how to do follow-ups. He knows how to do marketing, and he knows how fulfillment works. It's a lot easier. Same thing with me too, right? When I first try to start different businesses, I've tried like affiliate marketing, social media marketing agency, other coaching businesses, so on and so forth, right? Trying to build a personal brand. Like I couldn't get it to work, right? But once I became a successful sales rep, I'm like, okay, I understand how sales works now, how to sell on the phone, how to do follow-ups, how to do outbounds, right? As well as like how marketing works, how fulfillment works, and how operations works. Not to like this full degree, but like a lot better understanding than most people. Like this year I've made the most amount of money I've ever made in my life. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand how these things work. But before, when I tried to start my own business, I couldn't get it to fucking work to save my life because I was like, it sounds easy, right? But being a complete beginner to start a business all the way, it's like 0 to 100 all the way. Like some people can do it, but most people can't. There's a reason why there's this like statistics we've all heard, right? Most businesses fail in the first year. You know, there's a reason for that because there's too many things you got to do. And another thing too, like Brian as an example, not me, but another Brian. He got to about 15 grand a month in commissions. We helped him double his close rate while taking more calls, right? Or taking less calls. So working less, doubling his commission, making 15 grand a month. He started his sales agency. You know, he just closed a 30K deal the other day for a sales agency, which is great. They're doing well. You know, Vlad, another example, right? He became a very successful sales rep. Got to I believe like 10 to like 20 grand a month, right? On a very like low ticket price point. And then now he's going into like sales management. He's doing like sales operations within inside of this one business where he's helping them like hire, recruit, train them up, so on and so forth, and managing. You know, I'm not going to name the exact figure, but like close to 7 figures now he's making. Close to 7 figures a year. You know what I'm saying? Because again, like number one, he had the cash flow to take care of himself. Breathing room, cash flow, cash in the bank. And he knows how the whole thing works. You know what I'm saying? And so that's another thing we do inside a real sales system as well, inside of a licensing program is once a member gets to a certain point and they want to say, hey, what's next? Do I want to get into like a bigger offer, higher commission, or do I want to go into like something else? That's entirely your choice, right? World is your oyster. You can just take your path. And that's something what we guide our members through as well. It's not just about like closing deals. So that's one part of it, right? Once you get to that point, like you want to get to like, okay, what's next in my career? Then that's that's like the suggestions and the consulting that we do inside of the program as well, which obviously our members find it tremendously valuable. You know, so don't think like you're stuck in this thing forever. It's just like you're not married to this thing. But the important thing is like if you're gonna do it fucking well, and commit to it, and get good at it first. Yeah. Cool. Let's see what other questions we got. Guys, if you found this valuable, like I said, go to the pinned comment. It says apply to real sales system. Okay. It'll be in the pins, like top of the chat bar, white button, click on it. You can expand on it. If you're, like I said, in-person sales, car sales, home improvement, door-to-door, corporate sales, so on and so forth, or if you're in high-ticket sales already, right, and you're going to get the 10K, 20K, 30K a month in commissions, become a better provider, spend more time with your family, and go live in a better city or country, you can apply and see if you'll be eligible. Okay, let's go through more questions. Okay, cool. Also, what I meant by objection box is but do the same thing. Many high ticket roles prefer a US UK accent. I have a neutral accent, and sometimes it feels like I'm not moving forward because of those requirements. Do you think I should work on my accent? I haven't heard your accent, man, so it's hard to tell. But oftentimes, like it could be an accent thing. A lot of times, it's a delivery thing, meaning that you're not delivering with conviction. You're not sounding conversational, so on and so forth. But yeah, I don't know how you talk, so I can't give you an exact thing on that. I just want to. Okay, cool. Need to sell. That's pretty much it. Need to sell to fund the channels and stuff. So currently interviewing for offers. Yeah, man. Go crush it. That's it. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.